Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I welcome you to today's video where we take a look at some breaking news that has just hit the airwaves and it's gotten everyone talking. President Joe Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, in a move that's sparking both praise and outrage. But here's the thing. Many of my fellow black brothers and sisters are actually supporting Biden's decision, and their reasoning is pretty straightforward. As one brother pointed out, if Donald Trump can be elected president as a convicted felon, then why should Biden's son face prison time? Now, it's a question that gets to the heart of hypocrisy and double standards in American politics. And let's be real here. MAGA supporters shouldn't even be freaking out about this when they've been more than happy to overlook Trump's own transgressions. Now, in this video, we'll be taking a deeper look into the controversy surrounding Hunter Biden's pardon and exploring the reactions from the black community. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos. I will be right back.
If you voted for a convicted felon, but you are clenching your pearls that President Biden pardoned his own son, I'm gonna need you to sit this one out. Please sit this one out.
Yo, Joe had some time for this. This is the official statement from President Joseph Robinette Biden as it pertains to pardoning his son Hunter. Since the day I took office, I pledged that I would not interfere in the Justice Department's decision making. But you, as Commander-in-Chief, I've operated with kindness, integrity, and decency. I came out of retirement free and gave you my time I could have spent with my wife, but instead, oh no, I had to save the soul of this country only for this country to legacy. When Donald Trump left office, he left us in a ditch and in a deficit. We lost 2.4 million jobs due to his mishandling of the pandemic, and nearly 500,000 lives lost at the same damn time. He called C-19 a hoax and spread misinformation about the vaccine, making the recovery process harder for me and my administration. Since taking office, I've pulled this country out of the brink of a recession with record job growth. I created 17 million jobs, brought back 800,000 manufacturing jobs, pulled this country out of a global pandemic with 70% of Americans fully vaccinated. I've canceled over $158 billion worth of student loans, created low record unemployment. Inflation numbers in America are significantly lower compared to other G7 nations, passed the largest investments in America in decades, such as the American Rescue Plan, CHIPS and Science Act, Inflation Reduction Act, Infrastructure Law. Mind you, all of this done while the mainstream media questioned my cognitive ability. Questioned it so much to where my own party planned a coup against me and forced my hand to step aside due to one bad debate performance, even though 15 million Americans turned out in a primary and overwhelmingly voted for me. On top of that, my right hand, Vice President Kamala Devi Harris, who had only 107 days to create her own Democratic platform and agenda, which promised an opportunity economy that works for all Americans, not just those at the top, promising investments into first-time home ownership, forgivable loans for those who want to start a business, investment in child care, holding companies accountable for price gouging on everyday goods. She raised over $1 billion in less than 3 months and had an unquestionable debate performance with a man who lied about immigrants eating cats and dogs and was never challenged from the media about his cognitive abilities, even though he could never give specifics or even speak in a coherent sentence. But somehow this man got a hall pass to be mediocre while I watch a phenomenal black woman who's held a position in all three branches of government be subjected to relentless attacks about her race, about her credentials, while I'm watching President-elect appoint people who aren't even qualified to pick garbage on the side of the road to be picked as a cabinet position in his administration. So yes, I pardon my son. And if you have a problem with that, you can. For those who voted on the right side of history to save democracy, have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Wait a minute. There's some more. PPS, Nate Silver. If you think I forgot about you can suck all out of my through a silly straw, you supercilious, self-centered, bigoted, your mother should have swallowed.
Joe Biden just did what Elon Musk did not want. Joe Biden says, I'm still president. To use the term of the MAGAs, this is Joe Biden being very messy. At this rate, I think student loans might be next. So Joe Biden has just tossed Rivian a $6 billion lifeline. Now, what does that mean? First, I think we should start with what is Rivian, because a lot of people might not know. Now, Rivian competes with Tesla. It's another electric vehicle company that makes trucks and commercial vehicles. And if you don't know, yes, your Amazon packages are being delivered by Rivian. Now, Amazon has promised to purchase 100,000 Rivian vehicles. Not to mention, Amazon owns a very large stake in Rivian as well. But lately, Rivian has been struggling. The electric vehicle market hasn't been hitting the numbers that people expected. Now, let's not forget the Inflation Reduction Act. This was a strong push by the Biden administration to make sure that electric vehicle companies actually compete in a global market by providing a $7,500 tax credit towards an EV vehicle or a $40,000 credit for commercial EVs. Now, of course, there's a lot of talk about Donald Trump and Elon Musk possibly gutting that $7,500 credit. But this $6 billion is going to come in very handy for Rivian as it starts to ramp up and compete with companies like Tesla. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Elon Musk reacts to his competition getting a lifeline.
You know what would be the biggest FU that Biden could pull in these last couple days? A pardon that I wouldn't imagine any president doing. No president would do this. But because he's angry, and he's doing what he's doing right now. If Biden pardoned Assata Shakur, that would be the biggest FU. The biggest FU in America. If you don't know who Assata Shakur is, go look her up.
Some people are pointing out the depressing irony in Joe Biden, a co-author of the 94 crime bill, one of the largest and most destructive crime bills in American history, using his presidential powers to give a presidential pardon to his son. And I agree.
You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. This man is trying to burn this country down. He says, when I'm burning everything on the way out. Someone just left me this comment, because this is from a video of Joe Biden photographed holding a book detailing the Israel-Palestine situation from the Palestinian side. And I said that was a dog whistle. That was him giving to IPAC and you know who for not letting him run again. He's like, oh, this what y'all want to do? I'm going to thing up. I'm going to burn everything. And then they left this comment and it's like couple hours later, boom, 8 hours. Oh man, American politics is interesting. Yo, the next 4 years, bro. President Biden has pardoned his son Hunter Biden, and you know what? I would have done the same thing. If Donald Trump can be elected president as a convicted felon, I'd be damned if I let my own son go to prison for the sake of a principle that only one side believes in. When I went to law school, they used to say that no one is above the law. Clearly, that's a damn lie with white privilege in America. White privilege is Donald Trump having 34 felony convictions and still winning the majority of the white vote for president. White privilege is Matt Gaetz being nominated for attorney general while facing child sex trafficking allegations. White privilege is unqualified Fox News host Pete Hegseth being nominated as defense secretary while facing white privilege is slumlord Charles Kushner committing a federal crime, watching his son get a White House job with no security clearance, watching him leave the White House with $2 billion from the Saudis, being pardoned by your son's father-in-law, and then this week being nominated to serve as U.S. ambassador to France. White privilege is storming the U.S. Capitol in insurrection and being called a hero and a hostage by the incoming president of the United States. The Republican Party spent the past 50 years building a brand as the law and order party and threw it all away when it nominated and elected a twice-impeached convicted felon as president. Any MAGA cult member who defends the Trump crime family and their associates has no credibility to complain about Hunter Biden now or forever.
Y'all don't support the pardon of a crackhead, but made a felon the president? My God, today. Oh my God.
So Joe Biden made the conscious decision to pardon his son. There's an old hip hop song from my generation, as you can see from all the grays. And the hook went, you can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. America, you cannot have it both ways. Either the law matters or it doesn't. Either the code of conduct for presidents matter or it doesn't. Either the president is held to a standard or it doesn't matter. It's one of the two. You said you wanted somebody that could secure the border. In your mind, that was Donald Trump. You got him. You said you wanted a stronger economy. And in your mind, that candidate was Donald Trump. You got him. You said you wanted somebody to make America great again. And in your mind, the candidate to do that was Donald Trump. Here's what you don't get. You don't get to throw all the rules out the window on behalf of that candidate. You don't get to skirt the system on behalf of that candidate and then expect everyone else to toe the line. This is conventional wisdom. I'm a basketball coach, and I understand with children, let alone adults, you allow bad behavior from kids or from parents, it turns into a snowball effect. It is not sustainable. And so if you want to let one child be a diva and do whatever the hell he or she wants to do, just know that there's going to be a trickle-down effect for those actions. If you're going to allow one parent to be a tyrant, to run everybody off of the court, to do and say whatever they want to do and say whenever they want to do and say it, then be prepared for the blowback, because you're going to have problems from other parents. This is with dealing with kiddie basketball, let alone politics, right? I look at Joe Biden's decision and I can tell you exactly what he was thinking, no matter what the official statement says. If this dude can have 34 felonies, if he can pay with campaign financed funds, if he can be found liable, if he can say just grab women into so-and-so and be all on radio for it, if he can say all that he said about everyone that he said it about on the campaign trail, if he can put all of these unqualified folk in cabinet positions, then why in the hell am I letting my son go to jail if you, the American people, have made it clear in large numbers that it doesn't matter, that you don't give a damn about right or wrong, that you don't care about the code of conduct? Now, you voted for him, you got him. You don't get to dictate what everybody else does, because I'm telling you, not because I'm a guru, not because I'm Nostradamus. I'm telling you that from a common sense standpoint, if you let one powerful person do all of the crazy that this person has done and continues to do, then that will become your norm. You see the way the Republicans, if you even want to call them that, have normalized this behavior? You see the way that so many Americans have normalized this behavior? Let me give you a local example. There's a young lady, young Hispanic lady on city council here in my hometown. She put a post on social media and she compared red MAGA hats to white KKK hoods. Oh, she had her say. She had everything under the sun to say about people that voted for Donald Trump, because in her mind it made no sense, and she made a couple of judgment calls. Now, I'm not going to say whether or not that was right or wrong. It was her prerogative. A whole bunch of people in red hats stormed City Hall, crowded the room, and demanded that she step down because of her callous words. Demanded that she step down because of her judgmental words. Are you kidding me? Do you know how utterly stupid you sound right now? You won the election. You got your guy. You traded decency for it. You won your election. You got your guy. You traded political germaneness for it. You won the election, you got your guy. You traded anti-bullying for, you see what I'm saying? You threw it all out the window. You can't get it back. You can't unring that bell, right? The standard is forever changed unless and until America steps up and says, wait a minute, this is unsustainable, right? Bad behavior in an official capacity, especially an official capacity that wields great power, is not sustainable. Especially in a country where there has been a standard of some sort for an extended period of time. And so you open the floodgates for that candidate, you open the floodgates for that cohort of people that all follow behind him, And you think you have the luxury of just sitting back and saying, yeah, we got it like that. No, other people are going to follow suit. You act a damn fool, I'll act a damn fool. You want to break the law? I'll break the law. You want to act like decency is not an issue? Then decency is not an issue. You want to step in my face? Guess what? I'm probably going to step in your face and say, fact. That's the kind of society we're in now. And so if Joe Biden pardoned his son, it is what it is. That's your disposition with everything that Trump does, correct? I'm not trying to be controversial.
Well, freaking well. Look who woke up and decided to finally, in the literal last months of his 50-year career, decided to play dirty. It's about time the Democrats took the gloves off and started giving Republicans a dose of their own medicine. While I absolutely love this for Biden, I gotta say, shit's about to get real, folks. Because I doubt MAGA gang is gonna take this lying down. But at this point, do Democrats really have a choice but to knuck and buck?
Joe Biden just pardoned Hunter Biden. When you see MAGAs freak out, remind them that Donald Trump pardoned Paul Manafort, who was about to serve a 7-year prison sentence because he was convicted for taking millions of dollars as illegal forms of payment in exchange for helping Vladimir Putin overthrow the Ukrainian government. He also pardoned Dinesh D'Souza, who pleaded guilty to making illegal campaign contributions, and Michael Flynn for lying to the FBI, and George Papadopoulos for lying to the FBI, and his own family member, Charles Kushner, for tax evasion, witness tampering, and illegal campaign donations. Oh, and of course there's Roger Stone, who had almost 2 years of prison waived for lying to Congress and witness tampering. And of course, Stephen Bannon for crimes related to money laundering and wire fraud, along with about 220 other people. And not to mention all of the domestics he said he was going to pardon related to January 6th. But don't worry, I'm sure they'll have a really good explanation for how Hunter Biden's charges were significantly worse.
Now, it's no secret that President Joe Biden's decision to pardon his son has left some Democrats fuming over his choice to repeatedly and unequivocally claim that he would never take that step, even though a pardon long appeared possible to Hunter Biden's legal team. Now, multiple officials who recently worked for Joe Biden said they never believed the president or White House aides speaking on his behalf when they insisted in recent months that a pardon for Hunter Biden was off the table. Anyone who was even close to the top knew that he was probably going to do this. Why did he pretend otherwise? Now, a former senior West Wing aide said, now, a different former senior White House official said they and others around them had felt certain the president would ultimately pardon his son, while another ex-administration official put it this way: it was extremely painfully obvious that this was where things would end up. But even as some of Joe Biden's closest allies were bewildered by the president's 11th hour pardon, Hunter Biden and his lawyers long believed that one was possible. Now, multiple sources told CNN. That comes despite the White House saying that a final decision on the pardon was reached only this weekend. Now, the president's Sunday evening move to announce the pardon came after he spent time with his family, including Hunter, in Massachusetts over the Thanksgiving holiday, and has led lawmakers in Biden's own party to criticize him. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said as recently as November 7th that a pardon for Hunter Biden was not being considered. Now, Joe Biden's decision to pardon his son presented a delicate balancing act for the president, who has long been fiercely loyal to his family, even when it comes at his own personal or political detriment. Hunter Biden was convicted by a jury in June of illegally buying and possessing a pew-pew as a D user after a gut-wrenching trial that delved into his D abuse and family dysfunction. He then pleaded guilty in September to 9 tax offenses stemming from $1.4 million in taxes that he didn't pay while spending lavishly on escorts, SPARs, cars, and Ds. Now, sources familiar with Hunter Biden's legal strategy said he would not have agreed to plead guilty in September to all 9 charges in the federal tax case, exposing himself to the possibility of 17 years in prison and more than $1 million in fines without the expectation of clemency. The legal pressure on Hunter Biden mounted as his sentencing dates in December neared. People close to the president's son said they didn't want him to have to undergo sentencing. Now, in the days before the pardon was issued, Hunter Biden's attorneys circulated a 50-page document outlining the 6-year investigation of the president's son and blaming Donald Trump and Republican allies for being the driving force behind his legal problems. Though controversial, Joe Biden's move to pardon a close family member or associate is not unheard of. Presidents from both parties have wielded their pardon power in ways that have raised eyebrows, though perhaps none did so after so strongly saying they would not, as Biden did. Now, Trump pardoned Charles Kushner, his daughter's father-in-law, on his last month in office. President Bill Clinton pardoned his half-brother Roger, who had pleaded guilty to a D charge on his last day in office. Biden's public reversal this weekend and the issuance of a sweeping full and unconditional pardon for his son has some Democrats wondering why he had maintained that he wouldn't take a course of action that had seemed simply inevitable to so many around the president. As a father, I get it, Rep. Greg Landsman, an Ohio Democrat, said on X, but as someone who wants people to believe in public service again, it's a setback. Now, another Democrat, Colorado Sen. Michael Barnett, said Biden's decision placed personal interest ahead of duty and further erodes Americans' faith that the justice system is fair and equal for all. Democratic Rep. Greg Stanton of Arizona said that while he represents the president, I think he got this one wrong. This wasn't a politically motivated prosecution. He said on X, Hunter committed felonies and he was convicted by a jury of his peers. Now, one former administration official suggested that blowback Monday would have been less intense had Biden not been adamant for months that he wasn't seeking a pardon for his son. I wonder if there was a way to just be less righteous about it and more like we're not spending our time thinking about that, the former administration official said. Now, the ex-senior West Wing aide echoed that sentiment, saying there were multiple ways Biden could have left the door open to a pardon rather than ruling out its possibility altogether. Could he have been super honest, they asked, like, hey, I don't know, I can't answer that right now. Jean-Pierre, who on more than one occasion had told reporters that Biden would not pardon his son, admitted Monday that Trump's victory in last month's election had been a factor. It is a no, I can answer that. It's a no, Jean-Pierre told reporters on Air Force One when asked whether Biden would have pardoned his son if Vice President Kamala Harris had won the election. But she then proceeded to insist she was not interested in discussing an event that did not happen. I can speak to where we are today, and so I can't speak to hypotheticals here. Where we are today, the president made this decision over the weekend. Now, I don't know if I can call this support or what, but a lot of people are saying if people can vote for Donald Trump, a person who's convicted with 33 felonies, then why shouldn't Biden pardon his son? We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do my viewers have to say? Share your thoughts, your views as well on what you think about this in the comment section, and let's have a conversation there. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another interesting video.